Mm. 5 minutes early.
Hello, ladies. Linda, I haven't seen you for a while. How are you?
I know it's been a long time.
I know. My walking buddy at the park.
I know, right? When it was so freaking hot, and now,
Now we've got icicles hanging off our chins. Actually, I suppose I heard it's going to get much colder next week.
you know, I prefer the cold over the rain, so I'll take it.
Yeah. I'm with you. Hi, Julie. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Linda.
All right. No, it's all right.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm getting mad at my almost 21-year-old daughter for having dishes in her room.
Oh, man, let's not go there. Talk
I'm
about
like-
food call. I'd need like a year just to show you guys my son's room. It's so bad.
I'm trying to find all my glass storage containers, and I'm like, here's a lid with no container, here's a lid with no container, here's a lid with no container. Like, where'd they all go? And then I have containers with no lids. I'm like, how's that happen?
Yeah. I usually have to go in my kid's room to look for forks. I'm missing silverware. Hi, Nancy.
Well, we're missing silverware too, but
Yeah, right. You got to go on the hunt for it.
we'll get there.
Of course. Hi, Nancy. I don't think we've met yet.
Hi,
How are you?
doing all right.
Good. Good. And then hello, Amanda.
Hi there. How's it
Hello.
going?
Pretty
Okay.
good.
Not the best with my phone and Zoom. I can turn my camera on. There we go.
Here you are. Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you. So I'm filling in for Marlena today. Are you guys the typical ones that are on here? Should we wait a couple more minutes for anyone else? Do you know? Oh, there's Natika. Hello, Natika girl. How are you?
Hey, Paige. I'm good.
Good. I have big shoes to fill today because I am filling in for Marlena. She's has a family function that she could not miss, and so I volunteered to help her with the Wednesday food call. Hi, Raquel.
Hi, I'm at Walmart right now.
Perfect. Shopping, got to get that shopping in. I use them for delivery services. All right, well, I'm going to jump in. We're just a few minutes past. If more people join, then awesome. Oh, look at that little furry friend. Sweet. All right, so tonight I wanted to talk about drinking your calories. Ooh, fun topic. So I don't know if all of you have had a chance yet to listen to Christy's Sunday call, family call, but it was really great. She covered like the 5 Fit Me basics. One of them is don't drink your calories. And I'll share just a couple of things on like what that means to me, and maybe some insight into maybe where I've struggled with this in the past, and maybe sometimes still do in different ways. And then I'd love to hear from you guys on if this is a challenge for you or not, or maybe some tips or tricks that you might have. So for me, when I thought about don't drink your calories, instantly I thought about alcohol. And, I don't know. I certainly drink alcohol occasionally. I don't drink it a lot. But if I reflect back maybe to the beginning of my journey, I might have drank more than I do now. And then the other big thing for me was coffee. I am not that person that goes into the Starbucks line and sits behind 5 cars to get my coffee or any of that. I used to years ago, swing through a coffee stand when I was driving to work every day. And I say years ago, we're talking like 7, 8 years ago. I used to do that up until about 2008 when the economy tanked and people were getting laid off and my coffee stand that I used to go to regularly stopped. You know how they used to like give you a stamp on your card or a punch, and after you got 10, you got a free coffee. Well, they stopped doing that because, things were tight. And I thought, oh my God, you cannot seriously give me a free coffee after I've bought 10. And so I figured instead of complaining about it, I'd make my coffee at home. So that was when I changed to coffee at home. So that was like my first change. But my coffee at home, my girlfriend and I used to joke, are you having creamer with your coffee or coffee with your creamer? Because for me, it was like 3/4 creamer and a little bit of coffee because I just didn't like really the bitter taste of coffee. And so while I, probably reduced that some, I would say for the most part, I found myself still having a pretty fair amount of creamer. And for me, this wasn't like, it was probably one of those like Coffee Mate sugar-free creamers. So I felt like that was better than, maybe the caramel macchiato Starbucks creamer that you buy at Walmart or something. But, I still used quite a bit of it. And I can remember when I first joined FitMe thinking to myself when I heard this, I'm not giving up my coffee with my massive creamer because I freaking love that. Like it's the one thing in my life that makes me very, very happy. Little did I know. I mean, I will say it took me a while to kind of back down from that. Now I recognize that I really don't need that much creamer. And when I finally became open to the idea of possibly adjusting my makeup of my coffee in the morning to trying a little bit less to see if I liked it, or a little bit less to see, oh, actually, it's not as sweet, but it still tastes pretty good. I very slowly started to reduce that to the point now where I am certain I said I would never do this, but I honestly now drink my coffee. I do use either milk or a nut pod, a non-dairy nut pod with no sweetener, but I actually drink my coffee without sweetener now. I never thought that could happen, but it does. So that's my coffee story. I don't know if any of you can relate to coffee. I won't even tackle alcohol yet. Maybe we'll start with coffee. Are you guys all coffee addicts where you just have to have your coffee? Or are you creamer addicts that you have to add a little bit of coffee in there and call it your coffee?
We bought an espresso machine about 3 years ago, and I would have coffee every day and I would make it at home, but it would still be really sweet. And then I realized I was having caffeine headaches, so I really cut way back. And I go to a coffee group every week and we have homemade coffee, but to cut down on the creamer, the flavored creamer, I just started putting half and half in it and then added a little bit of French vanilla creamer to it so that I'm not getting as much sugar, but I'm not one that can drink black coffee. I've not found a black coffee or a coffee that I can drink black because they're all bitter and I just don't like it.
I can completely relate to that, Julie. And I think that's a great start at backing down, right? You still get for me too, it's kind of about the visual look of it because it's not so dark, right? When you add the milk or the half and half with a little bit of that sweetener. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I also have an espresso, which they do make amazing coffee, but I do find that it's bitter. So I always have to look at the little bars and get like the lowest one, like a 4. So it's not super, super strong. The other trick that I have done with those, I also love the frothers that kind of whip like your milk or your half and half. And I found that regular milk whips just as beautifully as like a half and half. Not that either is great. And for a while there, I even added a little bit of like a stevia packet, which I get is an artificial sweetener, but it is a natural stevia leaf. There is a natural plant base to it, so you're still adding it. But I found that I started that way as well, Julie. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah. I don't like artificial sweeteners. I don't like how they make things taste. So I've never been able to get on board with artificial sweetener. But I do like black tea. and I
Oh,
can drink black tea without anything in it. So I find myself drinking a lot of black tea
nice.
or herbal tea, but
Yeah,
I
still
can
get
do
that
black tea
caffeine.
without sweetener. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
Thankfully, I never got into the caffeine kick, or not in a caffeine. I do coffee. No, like I've gotten this far in life where I know if I go to get coffee and I put some fun sweetener in it, I'll totally get addicted to it. So I have stayed away from coffee, but I will say I do drink soda. So it's something that I do have that's like not great, and I'm trying to cut back on its calories. So can't relate to the coffee relations, but definitely can relate to cutting back on drinking your calories.
Yeah, soda's a great one. What kind of soda do you like?
Dr. Pepper's my go-to. It's my fave. But yeah, anything with sugar. I've worked in a lot of like just really intense like environments where like I'm just running around and I don't really eat all the time. And so that's part of my struggle too. So like if I ever needed like a quick fix and just something, I could like, all right, let me just have a few swigs of this. And this gets me like the sugar that I need and like gets me going. But yeah, it's definitely the habit that I have done better about scaling back. I definitely don't drink nearly as much as I was before, but I still have opportunity to scale back on that.
Yeah, so when you buy your soda, do you buy like the diet or the, zero sugar, or do you buy just like the regular old Dr. Pepper?
I go for the regular old. I figure if I'm gonna drink it, you might as well like have it. But
Go
then
all out.
again, I know there's a lot better options out there too. So
Okay, I'm
something to
only
consider.
asking because Dr. Pepper is near and dear to my heart. My sister and I very rarely buy it or drink it, though I do love it. And I will admit, I had one over the weekend and it was the first time in years. And I was like, this is so amazing. It was really quite a special treat. But yeah, I mean, soda, carbonation, all of that, no joke, can totally be addicting. I mean, I know, my husband can easily down 6-7 pops a day. No problem. He still does. He now drinks Coke Zero, but I mean, there's still many, many of them. So it can be very difficult, but that's awesome. If you're already working on, I don't know how many a day or a week or whatever that you would drink, but if you've kind of actively reduced that, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. I'd say I'd probably in the past, like when I was at my peak point, I would drink, between like maybe 2 to 3 a day, if not that. And now I'm down to like 1 or 2 a week or something like that. It's a nice treat. It's in my pants. It's in my like underneath my stairs. So it's not like facing at me at the time, but I'm like, okay, I want a soda. I'm going to go in there and get one.
That's fantastic. I mean, and look, I don't know what you've replaced that with, but hopefully something like water or maybe a LaCroix that doesn't have all the sugars, but that is an incredible accomplishment, Amanda. I don't know how long it took you to do that, but that is awesome.
Yeah, part of it was changing my work environment. Like I said, my work environment definitely was part of that, because it's like, go to the break room, all right, there's soda, let me grab one. So bad that it's not as convenient. I work at home, so I have to go to the store and buy it now if I really want it.
I can relate to that.
Yeah,
I can totally relate to that because before I met my husband, I worked in a stressful environment. And so my go-to was Pepsi and chocolate. And then I met my husband and I was able to scale back and then stop working. And he doesn't drink soda. And if he does, he drinks like half a can. And so I cut way back. Occasionally I still crave it and I have to have it when I crave it, but we generally don't buy it. We were camping one time and I actually had to go to the store and get one because I just wanted it so bad. Nothing else was punching that. So I don't know if I was stressed or what, because usually I just want it when I'm stressed. But I can totally relate. I hardly ever drink soda anymore.
Yeah.
Anyone else got something they love to drink that's sugary and sweet?
The thing that's most difficult for me to decide on is like a protein shake. And I generally don't do them, but for a while Premier Protein as coffee creamer. Seemed like a pretty nice option, but I've cut back to use less sweetened things now. And I don't know, you don't get the fiber even if you put the fruits and vegetables, it's all chopped up. So maybe protein shakes aren't good either.
Hey,
That's
actually,
pretty
I do think, a protein, I'm trying to think of, so I didn't even think of that until you just said that. I do put a protein powder in my coffee. And I got that trick from Christy, because she had brought it up one day and she's like, oh yeah, you can't even taste it. And I thought, yeah, right. I can taste anything in my coffee that's not supposed to be in there. But I was actually pleasantly surprised. I put it in there and I was like, wow, you actually really can't taste it. I mean, I will say probably the first week or two, I could just barely taste a very subtle difference, but not too bad. And of course, you get those extra proteins. So I don't use it as a meal replacement, but I think that little bit of additional protein is great. I know some people have found, and I can't think of the name of it right now because I've not bought it. My cousin does it. They're like little protein boxes that are liquid and refrigerated. And I don't know what they're called, and she pours that in. It's like a vanilla flavor. But I think that's a great alternative. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Unless for some reason there's like a protein that's packed with sugar or something, that would probably not be ideal, right? But for the most part, I know I use Vital Proteins. It's it's a protein and collagen powder that I add to my coffee. That's a great suggestion, Nancy.
Paige, there's at Costco, they sell, the brand is Fairlife, and
Oh,
it's
yes.
milk, essentially, little individual containers. And I just started, I thought, I'm going to try one of these. And so I just got 2 shots of espresso over ice and I added some of that. So it was like a mocha.
Yeah.
But I got sometimes those sugar alternatives. I think there's monk fruit and maybe some stevia in there. My stomach sometimes get a little wonky with those. So I got to be careful how much I drink, but it was super tasty. And if you go to like little mom and pop barista stands that know you, or I don't know. I thought they were doing it special for me, but they'll even take it and warm it so you can make like a hot one. It tastes a little strange, but it works. So
nice. Yeah, I actually just tried monk fruit for the very first time this weekend also. My sister-in-law had it and I used a little bit of it and it didn't have that aftertaste like I typically would taste. And right now I can't remember. I took a photo of like the back of it because I really wanted to look at what the nutrients were. But that was one of the reasons why I went to stevia, was because it is a natural plant. And so I'm sure there's arguments of, is it an artificial sweetener or is it not? But there is a stevia leaf that the sugar comes from. So it is actual sugar. It's just not cane sugar. But that's a great suggestion. I know Coach Leah likes Fairlife. She's talked about it before, and I kept thinking, oh yeah, I got to look for that at Costco. I like it when people, suggest things like that, because sometimes it's nice to try it. You might not want to buy a case at Costco, so maybe you pick it up at the grocery store and buy one little thing and say, I'm going to give it a try. And I've tried things and thought, there's no way I'm drinking that. It's nasty.
yeah. I don't know if they sell it at the grocery stores, but they're little white bottles and it has a cow on it.
Yep. Awesome. Raquel or Natika, anything from you guys? If you're talking, Natika, we can't hear you. You're muted.
I was having a hard time unmuting.
Oh, no worries.
I don't drink. I drink water. It's my thing. I might add what is it? Crystal Light
Oh,
If it needs some flavor. But other than that, I have to drink so much water. There's not much room left for anything else.
yeah, that's something. Once you start really chowing down on the water, you're like, wow, I don't really need anything else. I have come accustomed to the LaCroix. And I will also say I was that person who, I don't know, probably 18 months ago said I would never drink one of those. They were so nasty because, they had no sugar. And so for me, I was just like, that is disgusting. Why does anyone drink that? But now I'm like, wow, just a light little, this is my favorite. It's called Pamplemousse, which is a grapefruit flavor. And it's really, there's not much flavor, but I like the carbonation. It makes me feel like I'm getting something. So I've really become accustomed to enjoying those.
If I get down my 120, my 120 ounces of regular, then I'll have a sparkling
Yeah.
flavored.
Nice. Hi, Raquel. I can see you. Raquel, what's your drink of choice?
I go from coffee to water.
Mm.
And sometimes I have to tell myself to stop the coffee. I can drink my coffee black. I do drink my coffee black. And it's funny because I used to always think I know when I'm doing good is when I have my coffee black, because it's extreme. It's either black or it's gotta have cream and sugar. Like I can't just do sugar, I can't just do cream. It's like one or the other. But so I'll drink coffee and then I have to remind myself to stop drinking coffee and switch to my water cup, because I can kind of get lost in it. I used to drink sodas, and after I got COVID, they taste like they have cleaning solution, which is weird, but it's not a bad thing. That's one way to stop drinking them.
You are the
It's
third person I know to have said that, and I being one of them. And
Really?
my brother has said that. So our family is a big Coca-Cola family. Like my mom, she, if it's Pepsi at the restaurant, she'd say, nope, no thanks, I'll have water or whatever.
Yeah.
And, not that I drink them a lot, but occasionally, I do like if somebody's pouring a Coke, or my husband will be like, oh, I want a drink of that. But it tasted funny. I got COVID for the first time ever in August, and it wasn't until December that I went to drink a Coke. It was around Christmas time, and I thought, that tastes disgusting. Like something is wrong with that Coke. And that was when my told me that my brother has said the same thing since he's gotten COVID, that he just won't drink it anymore. It just tastes gross.
Yeah, I'd gone through Sonic, and mine was cherry Coke. I love cherry Coke. And so I went and got one, and I was like, oh my God, there's something wrong with your Coke machine. Like, nope. Nope. So I ended up getting a tea. And so if I'm going to have something, I'll get a tea, and I can do half sweet, half unsweetened. And then, so Dr. Pepper, oddly enough, is the one Coke that does not taste like cleaning solution. I don't know why. I don't know.
I have, I really think you're onto something there. I thought the same thing. I've also tried like a little bit of a root beer recently as well. And Dr. Pepper and root beer both tasted like my mind expected them to taste, even since COVID. Yeah. So I don't know if it's because their flavor is so powerful potentially, but yeah, it's crazy. I know we only have about 5 or 6 minutes left. I would say the other thing, I know alcohol can often be a struggle for people. And for me, because I liked sweet things, my alcohol choices were typically loaded with some sort of sweet something, if and when I were drinking. So if it were wine, originally I liked like a Moscato, which is a sweet, a sweet wine. And it's, I do like now, I do like a Cab, or some other kinds of like a red a red blend or something like that. But I find sometimes I think that drinking for me personally is more challenging maybe in the summer with barbecues and friends or social type of drinking more than like at home. I do really concentrate on my water, but I know, I'm also 2 years into it. And so 2 years ago, I probably had a much different look on this. It was much harder for me. And now I'm like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I drink it if I want it. I just don't drink it every night. It's just a lot of empty calories, particularly when you're really focused on you, right? So I think that can be a real challenge and something that sometimes you have to think about and make decisions for yourself. And the social aspect of it can be challenging. Well, I love that you guys have shared tonight. And so thank you. I think hearing Amanda, you talk about how you've, slowly kind of reduced the amount of pop. I love that you put it into a closet so that you're not looking at it constantly. Because I'm sure if it was sitting there ice cold in your fridge every single day staring at you, you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have one of those. I guess if I were gonna leave you guys with any type of tidbit or information, that if you heard something on here today that you thought, I don't know, I haven't tried that, but maybe you're open to trying something to see if you would like it differently or with less sweetener, then I encourage you to try, like Linda brought up, Fairlife, or, maybe try Nut Pods, which is a non-dairy, unsweetened form of like a creamer. So I just encourage you guys to give something different a try if you haven't tried it and you're still kind of working your way down from that. Doesn't mean you can't ever have, obviously, an awesome, incredible mocha or some kind of your favorite coffee or your pop or whatever drink of choice that you want. But I think once you realize and you start to make some of those changes, you'll find that the pleasure in having something like that is so much more fantastic when you've not had it for a while and it actually is a treat versus something that you just drink every day and you don't really give much thought to. Oh, let me take a picture. You guys are awesome. And everyone's got their little cameras on. Take a photo and let Marlena know that we had a good time. All right. 1, 2, 3. You guys look so cute. Thank you. All right. Nice to see all you ladies. Looking forward to seeing you in the Fit Me community, whether it's Instagram chatting with one another or on Facebook.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Paige.
Paige.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See y'all.